Something wrong. Okay. Oh, that's not where I want it. What? Not there. Give it there. There you go. There you go. Hello. Morning. Yes, we're gonna continue. Finally, gonna finish up this case, hopefully today. Sorry, I just woke up. How's the PC working? It's okay. It's okay. Might have some problem with. I don't know, but I'll look it up though. But it should be okay. It should be okay. It's just like I realized that the bitrate can be a little bit icky, but it should be okay. It's either me or it's either the computer or the internet, but I don't know. At least if it doesn't DC me in the middle of the game, then I'll be fine. Okay. Let's just continue. Continue! Yeah. So I guess recap that the book was thrown, wasn't it? From the ladies. From the guard Deb's place. I've considered the defense counsel request for a further examination. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. Summation examination. I remember now. Dang it. And I have determined that the court must uphold the defense judicial right to this procedure. Oh my gosh. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. Okay. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? You are, my lord. Okay. Nim, what? I like how the go is using 0. Good job, Nim. Good job. Good job. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court. Okay. The grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime. Okay. We messed up. You did mess up, didn't you? Oh, the juror's contention, alright. The accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his. There are some novel, alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed I might reconsider. Course in session, yes! Definitely. I'm gonna have to... Oh. Sorry, I didn't read that. We have to use our, what do you call that? The ways of the lawyer to change their mind. Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window was closed, can it? Maybe it can. Who knows? Dear me. Eyes the Mickey Mouse. Dear me. I'm too tired. It was only a little book. Can't be life-threatening. Even if a direct hit. You know how books can be dangerous if it hits on the head and then you fall and like hit your head and something else? The collateral damage can be pretty big. Yeah, no. Pagi, I go no. Pagi. Ako ka. Ako ka. John normalizing domestic. Yeah, definitely. Again. Think of all the paper cuts. Yeah, think about all those. Look, I just want to get this over with. I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Oh boy. Come to think of it, we have come to think of it, we have a fire at home a while ago. It gave us the sneeze. Gave you the sneeze. Okay. Yes. Considerably more tangible arguments from all members of the jury this time around, it seems. With notable exception, of course. Oh boy. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. Uh-oh. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover... Yabe! Oi, we just started! We just started! Come on. I think it's funny, instead of giving a reason, juror 6 just say something. I mean... I love the old man. He's just an old man. Yeah. No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. But there was the 2 couple. And the place that she died. I mean, let's open up this thing. She died here, right? That's like direct hit from whatever the whatchamacallit, the window. What if she doesn't even throw a book? What if she throw a knife as well? You know, you never know. What if she throw a book and a knife? You know, what if she just throw a book, the lady be like, oh, what is this book? And then bent down, and then the knife went jab. I don't know. Because this looks, you know, pretty interesting. But yeah, anyway. Also, can I say the lack of blood makes me so sussy too? Or just this game being no blood's allowed? But I'm pretty sure we saw blood like yesterday. Not yesterday, the other case, not this one. Anyway. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. What if the book was a knife? The book was a knife. How does that work? A knife in the book. Wait, how does that work? She was holding the book. Oh. Yeah, case 4 doesn't have a lot of blood for some reason. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Now I'm curious. I know the victim's body is a little bit plump. Is it because of it? Maybe there's no blood that bleeds out because of the plumpiness? Hiding in the spine of the book, maybe? Oh my gosh, Manny. Manny. Like a gun in the book. But if she's already stabbed, how could she be holding on the book? If the knife is on the back, how is she holding the book on the other side? It's cut out in the pages. Oh my gosh, that could be true. Secret compartment on the book. Knowledge is dangerous. We shall see. This is something. Well, it seems the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can argue any other way. That means I'm afraid that during the summonation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts. The bluffs. It was just a page cutout. Yeah, but she got stabbed on the back. A paper cut. Wow, a paper cut that big, it feels like a freaking knife that stabs you. Naruhonie? But how? What even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman and how? Those two details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and method by which the attack was conducted. Oh, fuck. Okay. And I was thinking this might be hard. But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it, otherwise this really will be where the trial ends. No pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summonation examination, please. I presume you're prepared, counsel. Oh yes, my lord. Alright, Yunosuke. Focus your mind now. She didn't stab herself, did she? How? How did you stab yourself from the back? I mean, if you're flexible enough, I guess you can. It's going to be drawer number 4, or shall I say Mrs. Garidep. We have a book that disappeared from Garidep's house on the evening of this incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand. There must be a... Yes, there must be... If she stabbed herself, she wouldn't do it directly in her back. Taped the knife to the wall. Just trying to make the knife propped. So we'll have to find out. By using every technique I've learned in my short career so far. Whatever it takes! Don't forget to keep an eye on Mr. Garideb on how she reacts even to things. Oh! Here it is! Here it comes! Boomerang knife! That'll be funny. A defense rebuttal. Alright, let's just press everyone. But as we know now, there were 4 books, not 3. Well, what's the difference does it make? There's every possibility that the 4th book in fact belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry. Well, at the point the woman was the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said. That's not exactly how I put it, no. That seems like it would have needlessly complicated attempt suicide for someone that has been stated to have no connection to. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Kinda. I would like to know what's the relation in this. Well, anyway, the point is the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened. I think that's what you call a strong alibi. So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver is about. It's a done deal, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. I suppose it is, since I have nothing witty left to say. And being a lawyer is hard. If there's a novel alternative explanation about how the victim... Let's talk about it. So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean? Oh my, such a delight in your face. But I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I'm a very moderate, metropolitan, and rational woman. What? Wow. Rational. Morning, Avi. Morning. You didn't miss out too much. Still like 20 minutes in. That's great. If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say? And not at all extreme. As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite 1 or 2 minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. I mean, isn't that a little bit too fast to judge? Modern okay. She can actually be friends with Soseki-san. Overwhelmingly. Overwhelmingly, yes. But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know. So I'll be only too happy to consider a new exciting theory if you could come up with one. I'd be happy to do that too if only I could. Oh gosh. Just... Unfortunately, I'm going to miss out a lot today because work, but you guys have fun. Alright, thank you for, stopping by. Hope you good luck with work. Do I resort to this point? Well, we'll see. Right. I'm glad you omitted rational there. Even the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to the scrambled window. If the window was closed. Why would it be closed? Why wouldn't you wanna... I already gave you an exciting theory. Yeah, the book is knife. Paper cuts. But what about the possibility of the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fellow over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite sort of cold indoors. So no, the window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, see? But you couldn't categorically state that the window wasn't open, couldn't you? Could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Well, that's the point even hanging the windows, huh? Counsel, you will kindly refrain from childish bickering. Oh, sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility the window was open. Because this young man isn't going to budge otherwise. It's threatening! Come on! Stop making excuses! The little book was on fire at the time, was it not? The flames of love, I'll have you know. There's really no such thing of a loving incendiary bomb. Did she hit her? I mean, hit him? Oi! Oi! How dare you hit him? Poor guys. Windows are great, how dare they? Sorry, too passionate. It's okay. Passionate Nim is a welcome Nim. Welcome, passionate Nim. We need more passionate Nim. Just smack him on your face. Well, he brought it upon himself as playing with fire to betray fiery love. Well, I mean, okay. Isn't it? Well, don't you agree? Well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrison. Never you mind that. The point is, we were just having a jovial little... Guys, I don't think jovial little dispute can involve with fire and a big slap in the face. Smacks! Yeah, how dare he? How dare he? Look, again! I'm sorry, mister. I'm sorry that you have to sit right next to her. You know, I hope... I'm glad that you're built pretty strong. Are you winning, Mom? We're gonna win, Nami! We're gonna freaking win! I'm gonna smack this guy, this lady in the face. Believe me. I don't care how nice and flubby she is, I'm gonna smack it. Because she's pissing me off. Order in your court. Yeah, no violence in court. Come on. And I won't have any more of these suggestions that was anything whatsoever to do with this crime. I believe it. Thank you, Nami! Oh, my dear child. Thank you for supporting your mama. Alright, well, we'll see about that. What about juror number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garadeb's relentless arms. He didn't even move. He just take it. He took it like a champ. Man, juror number 5 is probably my favorite. Look at him. It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is. Gentle soul. I just want to get this over with. I'll be in a tiny bit of may I ask if that little trouble involves your wife? You just wanted to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? The man's future is at stake here. Well, him and me and both then, like I said before. What? I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow night. What? You heard me, my missus isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me. Yeah. Another shining example of marital bliss. Beautiful. A situation like this cropped up the other day. It was, You know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember. Sorry. What's too frightening? That's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Oh, poor man. I wonder if Mr. B will ever be dragged into flames by his car. He's gonna be deadbeat, huh? Don't even go there, Miss Susato. There must be a way to jog his memory about this. I wonder how. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. It gave me the sneezes. Oh my goodness, the sneezes. Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry, what was that? You'll have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter my grandchild baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. I had 75 candles at the top of it. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on cake? Was it kind of devil worship? Of course, I was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously. That's cute, though. It seems that it's common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Netherhood. Anyway, I mustered all my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown them wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but the candles went flying all over the room. The furniture We have two things right now. We have marital abuse, and we have fire. If this is somehow can kind of like, you know, a little nudge to John, then maybe. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneezes, I presume you mean a cold. But how did you get a cold from the fire? What a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And because the whole room had filled up with smoke, they have to open the fucking window! Fucking don't. Don't you! Fucking hell! The windows... The biting air pushed over the double dancing on my grave. I did. I got a terrible cold from it. It put me on the hospital for a while. Oh no. I knew I was a devil worship all along. But something about this omens playing... Yeah, put it! Make him put it! Why can't we not ask him to put that on his statement? Just connection, okay. Connection! That's the spirit, okay, let's do that, Okay, so I wanna pit you with Mr. Little Guy over here. Okay. These two just seemingly contradicts one another. They do? How exactly, Consul? Don't play with me again. I told you it wasn't me. Oh, what was that? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Door number 3, do you see? Okay, see what, sir? Did you hear Juror's number 6 accounts of his birthday celebration last year? It seems despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Oh yes, of course, because it was an emergency! But obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from the fire, then you would be mad not to open the... Oh! Exactly. On the day of question, the time of the incident, there was a fire on the Gaideb's household. And Mr. Gaideb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke. You're number 4, Lord, you have something to say about that? Mr. Garrett! What are you doing? What's the meaning of this? How did you imply I'm hiding where I really am? It's imperative that you confirm something to the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now. What is it? When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window? What? I beg your pardon? Why are you insinuating? The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bouquet caused fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window. After drinking a whole country street. I mean... Yes. And what if we did? Okay, alright then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continue to give him justly deserved book battery. Ah, there you go. Even though your house was on fire. Oh, you never stop swearing until the anger subsides. It would have been terribly bad for the nerves to do other. No, it's bad to keep doing it, because it's gonna be a habit. That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You managed to establish the window was open. You simply must have added that added to Mrs. Garda's formal statement. Yes! Jeez! Man, those lady... This lady, you wanna just... yeet her out of the window. I guess the window was open. Alright, I'm gonna press her. The fourth booklet at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Gary Dubs told us he had been reading. Well, I really couldn't say. On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of The Lion's Pride that he has been reading? The windows are all. I did. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know. If you're like frantically mad, wouldn't you forget what the fuck you're throwing? You know, wouldn't you just grab anything on the floor and just throw it to him? I mean, she did say she's been, you know, giving him a book battery. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him. Now you come to mention it, yes. He was rather enjoying reading it, you're right. Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset? Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on as well, you know. I just said that. I just said that. I really noticed I was throwing a book. You okay? Are you okay? What is that, juror number 5? You know something? I remember what it was. That memory I blocked out. I was listening to what this granny was Mr. Juror 5? I don't think you should call her a granny. I don't know what will happen if she hears you call her granny. Who are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? And Mrs. Garrett's order me, I'll have you know. The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's used to being hit all the time. Oh my gosh. It's about 2 weeks ago now. I just got back home from work, like. I put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. Oh my god, wait! There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Oh? The wife was cutting up some chicken at that time. I could hardly get words out, but I told her straight. I lost a day's wage, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past me my ear, stuck into the wall next to me. It did about an inch. No words, just her. Can we know how? Can we know how? I guess not. Okay. I could smell it then, you know? The god-awful stench of the tapes. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it. Gerardo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered. You know, Susato, we already have 5 takedowns and 1 squash from you. Just saying, Miss Susato. You know, that it happened and you wouldn't listen to us and you just take us down? That was you. So, yeah. I don't know how to make of that. Bring household object at people as well. It's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor. Using a bow kernel. Suicide though. Never mind. Anyway, this man's word could be rather significant, I think. Yeah, definitely. Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later if I dare. Those two statements could have a deeply significant connection. Sato is best ace attorney assistant. I can see why. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one of such novel alternatives? Oh my, whatever do you mean? An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? We demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Gardab's room on top of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object beside the book could have been found its way from Mr. Gardab's household to the street below. What's that now? After all, Mrs. Gardab could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4? What are you insinuating now, you little beam? Beanpole? You call me a beanpole? How dare you? I'm beginning to think that ever since the true origins of this book came to light, perhaps she had a feeling that this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house, but what? What is it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that was the very least this warrants further investigation. Now, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense theory. The other object that found its way to Mr. Gardab's household to the scene of a crime was... the knife. Juror number 4, Miss Gardab. Good morning. Morning, welcome. What now? I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before? Good lord, counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man. My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garda were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garda was hurling anything she could at her husband, who had been backed up against the window. A window had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the scene of the crime. You can seriously believe that? The book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out of the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? Huh? Even my missus hasn't got an aim like that. Yes, I'll admit there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end. Not right now. Oh my... Ah! Oh no. Why is it red? I hope I'm not lagging for you guys. Let me know if I am, by the way. Miss Garda, your answer please. Have you seen this knife before or not? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, down she goes. My lord, I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word after... Oh, I should give her a Valley Girl accent. Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but... I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come on an end now with so many unanswered questions. Just a bit at times, it's not severe. Okay, okay. Okay, I see. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. She did throw the book knife! Ah, curse the book knife! Curses! Actually, speaking of like book secret compartment, I always wish to have sort of like a secret compartment, but like a big, you know, big fat book with like, I don't know, a secret compartment inside. It could be another book, or it could be, I don't know, something that is not dangerous. Something precious or something. Like a safe. Secret coca stash in the book. Oh my gosh. You put the book on the fridge. So the coca stash can always be cold. Or what if it's actually a cooling book? A book that can cool a coca. A cat. I wasn't able to put Oreo or like my other cats inside. What are you talking about? Emergency coca. I have to agree. Not that I think the granny didn't mind. Yes, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents. I love how the old man is just what's going on? A hidden whiskey flask with. Oh shit, that sounds so good! A mini fridge shaped like a book? Yeah! Wouldn't that be cool? Why do you have a dictionary in your fridge? Well, just because, okay? Maybe I needed to look for certain things that can be only looked for in the dictionary, you know? I open my dictionary as I look for the things. That would make sense. We did it! facial Mr. Naruto. Yes. So as a result of the defense nomination examination, a number of jurors' leaning has been changed. 2 jurors called guilty against 4 now calling innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue! Yatta! Yatta! Shaga shaga! Now then, Lord Van Zieks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Oh boy. Oh boy. A sip, sip, sip. The longest trial, right? Can't believe it. Give me a moment, by the way. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. Fuck's sake. Oh, come on! Van Zieks, yamete! What follows is repugnant. It's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zieks. The defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Man, Foreman! Thank you! Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. Credible? Is that what you consider opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond, but let me start by insisting. That you must all familiarize yourself better with the relative positions of those plays being discussed. Or is it that long? It's longer than the first 3 cases, but most cases in Ace Attorney franchise. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Very, very true. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? It should already be more than apparent, but that between the crime scene and Mr. Gardev's household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Gardev's house from the scene is some, yes, 15 yards. Let me see, 15 yards. That's around 14 meters. 14 meters! Oh, that's a little farther than I would imagine. And as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance, the book was found in the victim's clutches. Hello, what's wrong with you? In other words, the smoldering book wantonly hurled by the lady of the house traveled some 15 yards. I mean, okay. Van Zieks, I don't think you know how strong this lady you speaketh of. She's hella strong. Have you not seen the house? That wall is broken with all the stuff on it. Yeah, you don't wanna. I think you're underestimating her strength here, my man. Just saying. To land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's fingers and thumb. Yeah, but that's impossible. She picked it up. That's the thing. Is that your final conclusion, my learned deluded Nipponese friend? Was it broken because the candle fell on the carpet? Yeah, it was smothered with fire because of it. But if you remember, the dining table is right here, and the bookshelf is right here, with all the candle, and it went right there. But on the wall over here, She punched the wall. He was like dying, bruh. Her husband was pretty big too, right? She seems scared of her. Yeah, the husband was a military guy. He was pretty buff, but now he's scrawny. Yeah. And did the jackknife follow the near and identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. Ugh. Man, it doesn't feel nice to just ram your back into these intricate walls. Are your backs okay, Naruhodo? You wanna pop ya? That persecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Mr. Santo, serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Maybe let's pick our battles here. My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As a judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead. The prosecution may consider the idea of fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. God, so many long words. To that end, juror number 4, Miss Joan Gardner, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror. Oh my god. Pretty sure there's an invisible wall behind him. The intricate wall looks farther than the purpose. Actually, you're right. Actually, it bothers me on how close he just smacked himself to. Even though it was trying to, like, as if he hit himself to the wall. But yeah, makes sense though. It's pretty unprecedented for a member of jury to be summoned to the witness stand. Oh. Sorry. Thank you. And unnecessary. Lord Van Zeeks. There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony to defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have been flown through the sky before this couple's eye. And we must assume they would be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witness? What say you? Is Rolly Beat okay? Yes, sir. Constable Rolly Beat reporting for duty, sir. Goodness. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing off until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month. How do you stay alive while not sleeping properly for a month? That was on account of the villains who appeared on my beat, sir. Oh, they're so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more. Oh, Rolly, my hero, you make me swoon. Very well, I hereby reject the defense request. Oh. And order the witness in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense alternative explanation of events. Okay. Yes! Can you imagine the poor servant behind Zeke's with a case of wine bottles and a carpet? Yeah, I can totally see. I probably did. Plus the janitor too, who's already on standby, trying to clean up whatever is gonna break. I'm pretty sure Van Zeke's is the highest source of profit for wineries and glass makers, considering how much he bought just to break them. I can't believe it. How many hollow chalice he has? Signatured hollow chalice too. My goodness. Alright. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garda. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his words. You see, sir, the windows on top of a floor guard up there are top hinge casement. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have been seeing it. I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I didn't take off my eyes of the crime scene for one moment, so nothing strange to report. I thought you were sleeping! Well, this quite startling top-hinged casement windows. That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Ah, yes, I'm sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. You can excuse your sins. Sin. Hey, Van Zeeks, yeah, maybe don't call it sin. You know, I don't think it's a sin. It's a mistake, intentional or not. I mean, if it's intent, I don't know how you roll, Mr. Van Zeeks. I don't know how you roll here. No, sir. I'm sorry, but what exactly is a top hinge casement window? Was sleeping in court because he's tired from all this work. Yeah, I mean, if you remember the first testimony when Patricia was calling for help, she said that Rolly was just like slumped over. I'm going to excuse all my future sins with drowsiness now. Yeah. And you cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Of course, sorry. I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house, room. Alright, I try. So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But it has but as a top hinge casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see. Huh. I'm glad you've rectified your ignorance. The casement window's most prominent feature is its stay. A metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents it opening? This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife would have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. No. This is the problem then? Good. Your education in windows is complete. Wow. Schmack ya! Was there any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road? That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something that we've discounted already. Did you see that, Wooly? That young Japanese man almost collapsed in agony. Yes, but darling, I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me. Oh, Rolly, you're so strong. Oh, he did. Hey, get up. I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my arguments have been destroyed. No wonder they 8 windows. They don't fully open, right? How do you even have a nice circulation if you have to like make it that way? Honestly, that do remind me of my apartment back in New Zealand. The windows doesn't fully open. It had to open from like the below part, which was pretty hard. Is it wrong if I feel the urge to offer Rolly a mug of coffee with a max level bon chopper to keep his eye? It's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. Max level bon chopper, yes, give it to him, please. For someone who doesn't know, bon chopper, it's like a chili, a ground. It's like not really ground, a roughly ground chili powder. I would suffocate, right? Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits your cross-examination. Yeah. Or flakes. I think it was flakes. Chili flakes. Yes, chili flakes. Thank you. Ah, my lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation. You can do it. That's because there's nothing to do. There's a lot to do. How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. As a noble founding principle of the force written on it as a reminder to all of us policemen of our duty. Oh my gosh. As a noble, okay. He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? I can't say I remember. Patrol the street of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. This is what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering... What do you call her, suffering? Wife, and tell you Bobby's good life is okay. While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly, sir. Oh, really, you're so manly. Of course I am, but darling Patricia. Oh, but... Rolly! My goodness. I don't know if this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say that for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Gardner? Ah, I see, sir. You should have said so, sir. Yes, well... So could you answer the question? What a waste of time, then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer it in my fullest of abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Gardner's domestic dispute can be related to this case. But before I get into such, just one thing. Yes? I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the Great British Institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us London Bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. Sure thing! I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I just only arrived here. So to that end, sir, I'll be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. But I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try. Ooh! Can we look at it? Can we... okay, fine. I have to go to present, right? Okay. Okay. Can I see? Okay. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for a furtherance of community relation. appears? Is the worn cart containing onions? I don't know. Or maybe he's cutting onions as we read it. You just don't know. He's been cutting it just right underneath you. Okay. Metropolitan Police Regulation. Item 1. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigation with detectives. Huh. But I thought he's on a break. I thought you were on a break, mister. Okay. Is Rolly eating his hat straps? Yeah, he's been gnawing on it. And the whole time the court has been in session, he's been just like... By the way, 20 miles is 32 kil... Walking! 22 miles! Wait. That's a little bit crazy. That's crazy. Wait, what you mean they don't fully open? Is that correct? Yes, sir. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see. So they're restricted to as to how much they opened. And therefore anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane. Okay. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Okay, for clarity, you go ahead and mark the freaking map. Here is the location where the object would have fallen. Yes, directly opposite to the scene of the crime on the other side of the rather wide road. Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? How do you even know? Or would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mr. Gardep's house was furnished with? Oh, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday. What is it? Do you have something to add, Mrs. B? Sorry? You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? I was just remembering, that's all. We were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we're just so lucky it didn't happen to Rolly's beat. It was so close, you see. Huh? Oh, I hadn't realized. Oh yes, that... Ah, okay. Oh yes, that street, Briar Road, that's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love? You get gnawing on you. Constable B! Huh? Oh, yes, that's right. That's the reason why I was helping out with interviewing the occupants of Gardep's household yesterday. You share him shit for a big deal. No, we're in court! The court waits for nobody. Our house is on my beat, you see. That's really what's cutting it close then. Huh? Eh? Wait, my brain... Okay, wait. Is this his beat? Not this one? But I thought... But wait, yeah, they're not... Yeah, it's not on his beat. He's here. So he called the other policeman to come because it's not his beat. Okay. Alright. Gotcha. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Gardeup's household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it as well? Outside Mr. Gardeup's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see, I was unaware of that. Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on this other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby after all. So there's an A, okay. Wait. Guys, do you mind if I munch something? You guys mind? You have enough to share? Yeah, it's still a lot. You remember the chocolate biscuit from Valentine's Day? The biscuit? Do you remember how big it was? Yeah, I still have some to share. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a lot. You're eating a month-old chocos? Well, yeah. Well, it's a biscuit. It's a biscuit! It's biscuit, okay? It's a biscuit. And I put it on the Tupperware. Okay? I've eaten most... Oh, well, I didn't, but my family did. I shared I shared some to my family. Especially my mom. And yeah. So I think it's only this one that is just open. The other ones are not opened yet. They have their own little casing. Though that's fine. I've been focusing on just eating the ones that have been opened. So yeah. You know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. You think so, darling? I don't know why, but why do I feel like something bad is gonna happen between these two? Gonna go get some snack too. Yeah, go. Go get some snacks. Snack break. I'm gonna go refill my water. Give me a bit too. Snack boy. I filled my water. Yeah. I'm ready to continue. That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record. Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately. The case file information has been updated to the... Oh, yes, thank you. Let me check it. Young woman rendered, Pavement Road East Side. Alright. Normal, yep. Now it's my turn, I think. Your turn to think. Have been thrown out the window, we have seen it. According to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark. Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star. Oh my gosh, these two are so in love. Sorry. The star that will guide us to eternal happiness. Can it guide you to answer the question? If a flaming book has cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star. And if I seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Like really being expected, I would say 3 times at least. Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither a book or a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir, that is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. It certainly seemed that they were telling the truth. And when we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, we ran straight over to her to help. Okay. Looking for a lucky star with a dense fog? Yeah, I'm not really sure if that's a good idea or that's something that you would do. Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right? That's right, yes. If it had been an Rolly's bid, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't really expect it to know the location of every police box on every beat. So Rolly told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost in the way. Patricia, but darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, that's cute. I don't... Oh, Pat! Oh, Rolly! Oh, please. That's how we all feel. So I suppose it was gone for about 15 minutes, but like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. I was off duty at the time, but of course, but the true Bobby is never truly off duty, sir. Didn't take my eyes off the scene of the... I don't trust that! You were sleeping! Nothing to report. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I confer to that to the yard's honor, sir. Get a room! Get a room! My god. Really, that seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir? Seems altogether regular to me. This rare copy of the Lion Sprite was originally in the Gardepp's household, so the question remains, how did it find its way into the hands of victim? Can you shed any light to that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Ah! Could it be a different copy, sir? That's one that just happened to be burnt as well? Even that's where possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As you can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand for the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The true mystery of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be a common thread. Yeah! Book knife! It's a book knife! Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer? What is it? Oh yes, of course, what is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell. What? I wasn't really, what's she doing? Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. Yeah, just because I'm a Nepalese doesn't mean you can just point your fingers. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word. I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you. No excuses, I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you? Yes, Mrs. B, I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. I heard that! The Japanese thinks the policeman's wife words that counts for nothing, does he? Oh, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my role you won't. Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? Well, we'll just press it. I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though. Press it! Mrs. Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us. I saw it, I did! That evening I saw it clearly. The little Eastern man with the whisker and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene. And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky. All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction. Oh yes, well, that's a little embarrassing really. Always end up in the wrong place whenever I meet them. What is it wrong, Rolly? Constable B, is there a problem? No, sir, no problem, sir. Did your wife remarks just now bring something to mind, perhaps? You mean Mrs. B lost her way on the night of the incident? Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat of her mind, but she was gone a fair bit longer than I was expecting. I thought she'll be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone for a good 15. Oh, really, you're such a... I don't know. I would get really worried about that. But But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly. The bouquet? Sorry? What bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Really so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and half pennies he found in the gutter while doing his run. Yes, how romantic. I forgot all about it until just now. Had you, my darling? Oh yes. But that was just between us. Not talking about anyone else, darling. You have to promise. Really? Oh. I guess he doesn't want the people to know that he's been taking little pennies and everything. He looked very obviously troubled during the exchange. But I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was the woman with the knife in her back. I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it at first. So then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on? Yes, I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again, but the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all. In case you need reminding, Mrs. B, the victim is not deceased. I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably? That's right, silly me. I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there. I really can't. So the bouquet somehow moved from the one side of the prior road to the other. Curious indeed, isn't it? But the worst of it is I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly bought me. With that change from the gutter you spent so long. By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this solitary rose? Oh, yes, that's it. That's a bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary with bits change found. It's not so sweet though. Maybe just call it a rose. Tell us, Lord Van Zeeks, where did you come by the little flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of in front of Gardab's house. Although it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lays where the street lamp cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughface. Okay. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Can I have it back? Okay. Give it back to her. Oh, no. I think for a good measure, this rose should be added to the... Yes! Oh, poor lady. But it was a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial, you hear me? I want it back. Good grief. Rest assured I should do my best to not forget Mrs. Beat. Nothing to report. I like the judge shaking head animation too much. It's so cute! correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's honor, sir. Really, that seems a little strange. You beg your pardon, sir? Strange, sir? Okay, this is... Gonna be dead when she gets the rose back, yeah? The whole idea of the invisible attacker has been troubling me all along, but I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here. Do you feel like there's some weird, like, what if it happened this place, but it happened this place? I'm already armed with everything I need to. Yeah, okay. Wait a minute, Rolly! Rolly! Wait, isn't the bouquet was supposed to be dropped near the victim? Yeah, but then suddenly it was found on the other side. So if you didn't take it off, then why is it all the Rolly? You slept, didn't you? Rolly! What happened? You should have known. Rolly. How dare you? Rolly. You claim Constable Beat there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you regarding the place. But that can't be. What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. B, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby. This is girl's flower, you don't want to turn the case. Yep, probably. Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of the meager bouquet, it's if a single sorry bloom can be so described. No doubt it was blown by the winds across the street back into the gutter where it blew. Wow! Von Six! Man, no wonder you're still single. Assuming. Meager? But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact? No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore on that Scotland Yard's honor. The bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why I really didn't mention it, I'm sure. And back then, what a bird! No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Gardep's book. Mr. Gardep's copy of The Lion Pride. I knew it. Wait. I wanna sneeze. Come on. Come on. Shit, doesn't want to get out. Mr. Gardep's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife. would have been struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beats' bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Gardner's house. Also, welcome back, Afi. Welcome back. There's no logical explanation for those things. Unless somebody deliberately moved them. Are you saying Rolly did? What if Rolly did? Remember, because she doesn't have a sense of direction, she wouldn't know. And Rolly just wants to go and eat the dinner with her because this. That's what I'm saying, yeah. He just wants to have his anniversary. He doesn't want anything happen on his beat. So when it happened on his beat, he's just... No! No, I don't wanna. He didn't want her a part of the case. Yeah. Or he just doesn't want to go an investigation and let other policemen do the thing. Because if it's on his beat, he has to do a lot of investigation and everything. If it's not on his beat, remember what Patricia said? That thank goodness it wasn't on his beat, or not, they wouldn't be able to eat their anniversary dinner. So if it is on their beat, so he moves stuff to make it someone else's problem. Yeah, they don't want to. Well, I think Rolly don't want to miss out the anniversary dinner, so that's why maybe he give it to the other policeman, because you know Patricia just doesn't know direction and all. So maybe in her mind she was just walking through someone's beat or something. I don't know. That's my theory. A Gwam's theory. Thanks for watching. Don't you listen to what this scrawny lawyer says? We'll twittering about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is. Oh god, Mrs. Gardner's come around. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Gardner. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called, tampering, Mr. Naruhodo. Insert HD verification surprise. Does that count? Yeah. I mean, you literally moved. If the theory was correct, right? If this is actually this is not the real place where she was stabbed. This one was. Yep, called it. But the person responsible for tampering cannot admit to it for a very subtle but compelling reason. Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend. Would it possibly have had cause to carry out such elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered at the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence on all the testimony points to that one particular person. Counsel, I demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Are you saying Mr. Rolly Minion, Mr. Rolly Man, look at him, He's no hero. I just want to put this back to. Obviously, there's one person who could have done it. Constable Rolly B, it was you! What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? What a nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. No Bobby works more tirelessly for people from London. That's why he wants... Remember what everything he said. He said, Bobby is never off duty, even if they off duty. If there's something happen in their beat, they're gonna have to do their work. But poor Rolly just wants to have his anniversary dinner. I mean, that's my theory. I mean, I don't know if he has anything else in mind, but I thought it was just like his anniversary dinner is all he wanted. Because he seems to love Patricia, so... yeah. Mrs. B, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. I'm making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it. Good morning. Just watching while taking a break from my works. Hey, welcome. I hope you have a good break. Don't remember to drink. Remember to stretch. That's really important. So yeah, welcome. Yeah, he just wants to spend time with her is how I'm thinking too. Yeah, but tampering with a scene of crying just to do that? What a crime. What a sin. Now this is a sin. Now this is a sin. Right? See, Van Zeeks? This is all you call a sin. Not a frickin'. Why you don't tell us before about the fucking windows? Hoobla hoobla. It works too hard too often. Yeah, he just wants a time for his love. But that was true. Constable B would have seen him do it. Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. B, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well... Oh. First you make accusation about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusation lacked one very important thing. Ooh, what is it? Or maybe he was trying to protect his wife because if the rose become an evidence too close to the victim, things can be nasty. Can be. Very nasty. I feel like it's both. Both seems really... very plausible. Oh no! Oh shit! Okay, sorry. I stepped on a stop contact. That's not good. I don't want to step on any cables. You claim the crime scene was tampered with, but there's only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime. A crime to hide something. That's right, he's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? Doesn't make sense. You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering, and until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. What is? Constable Biba had very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair. That could be the case, Adit. He could have just turned a blind eye instead of tampering the scene, but he did it, so he had a reason. Let's save it. Have you managed to solve this mystery? Yes! As we have made very serious accusation against the London police officer. If you were mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, will you now explain to the court what the motive for this alleged tampering? Hi! Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide... Where the bouquet fell, where the book fell, where the yeah. Remember, we don't want the victim on his beat. Remember that. Well, that's my theory. I'm holding it with the best of my abilities. Cause like if it was the bouquet, right? Like if it was actually the bouquet, you know, he could just take the bouquet away, right? He could just take the bouquet away and hold it for his wife. That'll be fine. But why do you have to move the whole thing to another road if you want to protect your wife? That's just food for thought. Ohawa! Hey, welcome. Ohako Katsuyu. Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road, we saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't know already. No, you poor little son! That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. What? What? I'm beginning to wonder where this excuse me, what is that word? Tumultuous. So that's what is.
Tumultuous.
So that's how it's written. That is a weird way to read it. Tumultuous. Okay. Tomorrow's trial will end, counsel. If that's your assertion, then it's the court dying to know my Nipponese friend. Or are you proposing that the crimes actually took place? Well, it's right over here, dummy. Duh. But that's on the opposite side of the road? I don't understand, because you don't understand direction, my lady. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. On the evening in question, Mr. Garadev's book fell directly down from an open window above. And your bouquet, Mrs. B, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious! Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard? But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. But that's right, I saw it with my own eyes. It was 5 o'clock in the evening and it was already dark. There was a typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road. No, that's not true. It can't have been. Constable B has then arranged you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you're away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print. The victims herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing. What did he overlook? The bouquet, I presume. Exactly. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Ziek said it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lays where the street lamp has no light. Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was the only bouquet. It was found in the original position on the pavement on the west side of the briar wood. I guess he couldn't find it. And it only took him 50. Yeah, the little sleepy dude is actually stronger than we thought. And that is the defense theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Rolly beat. That's not a lot of work. He managed to move the woman across the... Yeah, apparently he did. Apparently he did. Oh my gosh, he looks so sleepy. Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Rolly, it isn't true, is it? What lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it's because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. Oh gosh, Patricia. Oh, Patricia. I had a dream, a terrible dream. All the things I did that night, everything come out, everything exposed. Only it seems it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Order! What on earth is the meaning of all of this? Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this? Well, the thing is, I don't think Rolly can deter Patricia away, because when Rolly said, "Oh, because it's our anniversary, Patricia, we're gonna have our dinner anniversary together," and she was like, "Oh, Rolly, oh, Rolly, I love you." Yep, the lengths of Ace Attorney villains will go through is something else, actually. Yeah. This is not new. So he was sleepy and kind of lost his judgment? Maybe, or because of her. You know? Would you... Alright, on your anniversary off-duty day, do you really want to work? Let me ask you that. You know? If perhaps you have someone that you really love, and it was your day, your together day. To be honest, he's just fed up, I think. Really? Come on! Why wanted to... If he's just fed up, then why not do the job? Why not do the job? Come on. You know, you could have avoided your anniversary dinner to just investigate it, you know? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it? It's not a corpse yet, it's not dead. No, no, but if I really see a dead body on the street, I can't really ignore it. Yeah, but maybe he's just tired. He just doesn't want to do work anymore. If for someone's life at stake, a police should just postpone their special day instead. Good. Yeah. Even if you're off duty. Remember what the warrant card said? On your beat. On your beat. Wishing the victim dead should be one too. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of the Scotland Yard, you're dirty. You're dirty, not your duty. Duty is to protect the good people of London town. I can't say so. What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything. I have a possible explanation for why on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can't think for one reason. What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman. And yet Lord Van Zieks is the foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. Oh, burn! Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Oh, the judge! Can I say this is by far my favorite judge? It was any other day he would not have done it. Exactly! Exactly. It's because you don't have feelings, Van Zieks. Exactly. I believe it would have been beneficial to the court to hear this. I feel like he already know. I feel like our judge here already knows of what we're trying to say. You know? Wait for Ooh, Van Zieks, maybe you want to pour that wine down over yourself, huh? Counsel for the defense. If you oh sorry, I'm just having so much fun with all the burns. When beating Zieks on the floor? Can you just imagine like Van Zieks getting overthrown by a freaking Grem? Like, you fucking My favorite judge is the original because I mean, okay. Judgy Pooji is the best. Alright, I love the old judge too. But this judge just seems more competent. Remember, Vio, every Ace Attorney game, the judge never gives full judgment. Never, you say. Okay. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. Yeah, well, at once, my lord. England, Japan. It makes no difference where you come from. Human emotion are the same. It's actually in the lore, I'm not lying. I mean, both judge, you know. I searched the first judge is just like a goddamn bobo, right? The original judge is a goddamn bobo. He's just swayed here and there, but he never gives false judgment. But in this one, it feels like he's really, I don't know, what do you call it? Judge. Well, feels like a real judge. Meanwhile, you know, the judge from the original game feels like he's a little grandpa. It's a cute little grandpa trying to be a judge, you know. Especially the banter between the court and everything was a little funny. I like it a lot when the witness are being mean to the judge and the judge just take it. He just take it. It's the best. I love it. Original judge. But you know, the burn on this judge though. Come on. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's... Yeah, exactly. What gives away the motive of Constable Beat's unthinkable action? Well, you see... If you see here... This was written over there. And there's the Korean judge that's just wanna end as you. Yeah, there's that one. That's that one. Very true. For no judge giving false judgment, Koreanese judge canonically gave a lot of... I mean... You know, we don't talk about Korean. I don't want to think about Korean. That's a traumatic court procedure. It's tough. Especially when a certain spirit medium had to transform into a certain priest. Yeah, that was not fun. That my mind is soiled when I saw that. Just put it out there. I forgot about him actually, though. It is the right judgment in their country. Yeah. I mean, with the whole seance, I forgot what's that called, where you can see sorta of what the witnesses thing, the other priestess, the little brat. I forgot her name. Okay, look, continuing. I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, but I have only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. So Kibya, we can move on from that, Judge. We can all agree Kurai's name in the game is just... Yep. Yeah. Yep. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord. Oh yes! It was our very first wedding anniversary! Constable B had worked so hard to be able to afford a simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal, when he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime scene along Briar Road. There it is. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of him, it must have gone through the man's mind. But sir, just on that particular day I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. B put up a lot of work, a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, the policeman must assist with initial investigation and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said is alright. So that's... It was all to do with the boundary of your beat? Oh! Eek. Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious! Constable, did you realize the gravity of what you've done? It was the first time I became a copper that I've ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat! The criminals could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of my duty as an officer. We got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, the policeman must assist with initial investigation and help detectives. Hope really gets let off easy. Yeah, I sympathize with him, but this is kind of like a big thing. So, I don't know. Why here? Why did this happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? Aww, Rolly. It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Patch he had to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth! This is the next beat to mine, Pat! So you have to go to the police box that covers it, turn right along the Mersham Street, and then... Poor dude. Look at her! Oh, yo! Yo, if you do that! Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Constable. I just wanted that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner. A rollie. Just that one night. You know that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. So you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction, just across the street. The east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat care. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon? Oh, of course he did! If Rolly goes to jail, police can't get... I mean... That's true. Harsh but true. Probably his first full night of sleep about a year. He probably will lose his job, but hey, at least that means he'll probably get a less demanding job. How? But he wants to be a hero. He wants to be heroic. What job that can let you be a hero? You know. That's why Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement. Ah, I see what you mean now. But good God, but God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat. Oh no, Rolly, that was all my fault. Should've never dropped in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly. And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total? Hmm? Oh, 4 it was. Yes, definitely 4. From them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in Gardep's household, of course. But what made you place the book in the victim's hand when all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding? Yes, sir, no doubt about it, sir. Interesting. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. But I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. Oh. Oh. My lord. Yes, Lord Von Zeeks. I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Prosecutor, sir. What will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him? I don't know, maybe that's a Scotland Yard job. For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please don't punish my husband. This is all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late. Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired. Get some sleep, guys. Alright then, my love. One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson into your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Ah, never again, sir. You mean to say you're not fired? You're not fired, but warning. Leave now, trial's not over. Sa! Alright. Oh, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought the third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here, principally that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could have possibly have committed this crime. Ha! Ha! Shh. Come on, we're gonna go back to our first assertion. The window is open like how? Right? Let me. Shh. Let me get something for you guys. Right. Oh. Right. Like, alright. Remember? Right? So if the window opens this way, right? And for example, the lady is bending down, you know, to get the book, for example. Like she bent down, right? And then the knife be like straight to her back. That is my conclusion. Book fell. She like, what is this? He grabbed it. Bam! Knife at the back. That's my theory. Thank you. No, I disagree. Crime scene investigator. Yeah, but I'm glad at least she's not dead. Just, I mean, comatose, not good. Like mid-back, that's like where the spine is. So Miss Gardev was the one who accidentally did it then. Yeah. That's why you had to take John to the witness stand. Now we know the true scene of the incident. There's someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already. Lord Van Zix, is this true? Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. Oh my gosh. You will name this other person who could have... The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of the new witness, my lord. Once again? My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative that we cross-examine the juror number 4, Mrs. Dawn very dead. Indeed, that's because I've already been denied. But the situation is different now. Very different. Miss Gardeps, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? How dare you? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Gardep. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened the window that looked out over Briarwood. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband and was when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open hinged casement window, the book plumped directly down, finding its way to what we know now to be the true scene of the crime in this incident. Yes, and as I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Gardep. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before? Oh. I don't recall. Seriously? Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there and in all the regalia said members of the jury didn't need to testify, didn't he? Conveniently, yes. No, I have not recollection of saying that at all. Juror number 4. Oh, make no mistake. Your jurors are not special in any way. You're not immune to judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madame, let the truth come out. But that's just a common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. I have several like that at home if one went missing. How would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying, please, Mrs. Gardeb? Did she just say she has plenty of that at home? I hate how she's just belittling this, as if it's not a big deal. You know, just admit if you don't remember what you've told them, you could have thrown it. You could have harmed someone. My God! I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I would injure someone. You hear? I couldn't bear it. But you did. If you couldn't bear the poor thought of injuring someone, why did you do that to your husband, huh? Why would you do that? That's not good. So yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist. You're going to prove me. We already know. Remember, this knife is nicked. Just right there. Just right there. Just cause she got squishy cheeks, she thinks she can get away with it, right? There you go. Because it hits the freaking window! Forgot I haven't really examined this, but we know now. Hello, welcome. Come along now, chop chop. Do your worst. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. If I have evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown that already. No more throwing! Then take the stand, juror. Oh, shit. Fanzix! I have a bit respect for Zeke's now. Yeah, I mean, he's just a little thorny on the outside, but you know, from all Ace Attorney games, I know most of the prosecution will kind of mellowed out a little bit. They just have a bad experience. They're kind of misunderstood, you know, like Edgy Pooji and the other guy from Dual Destinies, and then I forgot about the Korean one, because I told you I don't want to remember. But we know. And then the Professor Lighten, Phoenix Wright crossover also have the, you know, that kind of thing. So we know, right? Misunderstood. Just a little bit misunderstood. So yeah, okay. I've always liked Banzix, but yeah, he gets better as the game progresses. Yeah. I mean, I hated Edgeworth too, but he gets better, right? I mean, you just, you know, I like Franziska too. She gets better, but One Karma is also One Karma is another thing. I'm going to have to testify. Yes, you do! You're number 4, as I'm sure you'll appreciate having observed it with your own eyes today. Witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truth being unearthed. Truth of which the witness himself may not even have been aware. To prove yourself to be worth their respect. Exactly. One Karma didn't get better because he didn't have progression. It's because One Karma did it. He shot. I don't know. I don't want to. I know it's like an old game, but still, you know. To be fair, Manfred Von Karma is pretty much the main antagonist of Ace Attorney 1. Yeah. Scary though. Holy shit, I'm scared of him. So he radiates so scary he feels. And then right after that, Ace Attorney 2, you have the misunderstood, sassy Franziska, who just wants to be loved by her papa, and her papa only think about Edgy Pooji every goddamn time, and Franziska just wants, fuck you, Edgy Pooji. I just want to get acknowledged by my dad. Yeah. That's all I remember. Alex, you bulb. Alright, let's continue. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Gardep. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. After watching this game, I don't think I could ever play them. Too frustrated. Could just save scum it. It's frustrating, but it's fun though. It's really fun. Because I think it's all about the character, the side characters and everything, rather than really investigate. It's like it's really different than LA Noire, is what I can say. Because LA Noire is really about the investigation. It's really about the thing. But this one's all about, you know, it not taking itself seriously and the characters. That's what I'm hoping for, my lord. And yeah, Banzix! Thank you for coming to my side. The investigation isn't too tough, but it just drags on and on and on. Yeah. Well, thank goodness you just got to do it once in this game. I mean, in this case, at least. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here in the Old Valley, and I'm a lawyer. This drags on. It's a shit drags on and plot twist up after plot twist kind of game. So you just, this kind of game you just want to sit for it. Witness, state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is Joan Gardeb. And I'm, well, I'm a juror and such like. So like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore. Well, yeah. The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madame? Yes, my lord. Hey, at least John Gardeb is not there, so she doesn't have to spill hot tea all over him. The great Ace Attorney ones? You mean the Ace Attorney one? Not the great Ace Attorney one? Just saying, a lot of the Ace Attorney games, I think someone else, the great Ace Attorney in particular, in my opinion, drags on and on. Yeah. In the trilogy, if I remember, well, the same with the other ones. Once you do an investigation, you do a trial, then you unearth more with more investigation as the day goes by. So it is longer. Well, that and the rise from the ashes. Oh no. Yeah, well, okay. You would tell the court everything that you took. Okay, let's go. I warned you, do not attempt to hide the truth. Oh, dearie me. Oh! Everything jiggles! Oh no! Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now. Oh! John, why are you here? I didn't know you were here, John. He used the thing! He uses the thing. My biggest rise from the ashes problem is in the investigation. Oh, look, let's the vase. The vase can just fuck off, okay? Wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing? Was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you? But what about your knee, dear? Don't worry about that. Hardly notice it. Is this 19th century great? At the end of 19th century, I think. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone. Oh, John. Oh, but she... Hey, maybe you put it on the same layer and not above it? Can you like... Look, this is triggering me. That's not on the same. Mr. Gardeb is one of my favorite side characters in Greatest Ace Attorney. I like him. I don't like her that much. I like him though. Hit him. Yes, sir. Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland. Wow, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life as it were. Quiet life, were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on that day in question? Well, yes. Quite. I believe this may represent a first of the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. It's very moon-shaped. Yes. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home. Yes, we will. Like, let's just hope she doesn't do anything to him, because I feel bad. Well, at least the smack mark is still okay. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked the candlestick over and set a fire to the carpet. Soon had it out, though, and got the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I would notice if one or two went missing, I'm afraid. If that bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think. Well, we will get to that soon enough. It sounds as though it was quite a battlefield in your household that evening. Although an entire one-sided assault. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig and take defense measure. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is too aware that on every battlefield you're just a gnat whisker from death at any moment. Sucker. Are we still talking about marital quarrel here? Well, I must say, I'm dubious that this testament will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. The witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. 1-6 may well be right. Well, whatever are the chances? We only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo-san. Marital quarrel or trench warfare? Could it be trench warfare? Yes, I'm afraid so. Let's do it! Yes, Counsel, begin your cross-examination. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did this. Okay, well, press everything. The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe. Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garibel. A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garibel found the note discovering her husband's little secret. And that's why she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too. What a sordid state of affairs. Hell on earth. I say, when a chap says he can't recall such thing, it's common decency not to drag it all up. Oh no, he's quivering! And besides, half of it was wide of a mark anyway. A likely story. These waters run very deep. Ooh, very deep. And what's transpired next after these multiple blows to the face? Oh no. And the fire also spreads to some items of furniture, didn't it? The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine, and really. Just so happened there was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out. A most precarious situation you put yourself in. Ours is the 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Have to draw the water from public water pump during the day if you need any, you see. The largest are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although, that little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe. An offended? Mr. Natsumi, you mean? Yes, he received a stipend of his studies, you know. from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off. Have you actually seen the state of the man? I believe he used all his income to buy books. Yeah. Well, anyway, the point is, I was able to douse the fire with water. Fortunately enough. Okay. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find through it. Even though the room was on fire. As far as I was concerned at the time. It was important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. No! That's not how it works! That's not how it works! That's most certain. That is most certainly not true of a Susato takedown, Mr. Hey! Igiari! Objection! False! You did it even before I said anything! How did she know I was thinking of that? Because we are the victim of a Susato takedown. 5 times, nonetheless. So please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw your husband that day? In all honesty, I don't recall, but I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see, some bread, some cabbage, garlic, towel, and a sponge, and a napkin. Does the napkin have... Napkin knife! It's a napkin knife! It's a napkin knife. You have something to add, sir? Mr. Gardeb! Don't shoot! Sorry, I beg your pardon. Did your wife remark just now bring something to your mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just a barrage of projectiles, the old thing launched in my direction. Somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and fire pokers, I seem to recall. Ouch. What? Not a freaking pipe? How do you get a smoke from that? Good brave woman, we're not at home now. This is a court of law. Oh dear me, ever so sorry, dear. What she's even doing with a teapot here. Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such thing at you, obviously. I'll take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened, hmm? Your pipe, sir? Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked clean out of with one of her soft projectiles she did, yes. And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see your pipe was broken. Hey, you know, your pipe has a bunch of water in it? You'll never have sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage this thing up for now. You're one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear? There's no exaggeration when you're throwing shit to your husband! I wonder why we should take a... It could be important. It is important because of the knife. The defense believe Mr. Garber's remark just now is quite significant. Yes. These war veteran words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife and pipes, as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense, one might say. Might one? In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Ooh, yes! Well, I don't see why not. Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady. Come on, Joan! Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. Let's check a lookie. Hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. No, you didn't. No, you did not. Don't worry about it. Oh my goodness. It's Boro Boro. Oh. Oh, something just twinked inside the chamber of the pipe here. Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think. Okay, so it doesn't chip from the... It doesn't chip from the thing. From the window. Apparently it chipped from... on the pipe! The tip of the knife in the pipe? Okay. I would have thought it would be from the window. Looks like the tip of a blade or something. The tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be. You know, Mr. Gardeb, this is very dangerous. You keep sipping on this thing. For some reason, it feels like slightly ominous to me. It looks like trying to shout a warning. Probably because the same blue as Mr. Gardeb's resting ground. I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Gardeb, given that he's gone through the trouble of repairing it, yeah. He probably cannot afford to replace it, huh? There's a small nick of the bowl here. Look, it appears to have been relatively made recently. And see how there's a little scrapes of dents all over it? It's clearly a well-loved pipe. Oh, you're right. It seems to me recently that being well-loved goes hand in hand with getting some battle scars. Oh, we know what it is! Just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down. Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Susato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully. Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Gardeb. Now, if we could return to the crux of the matter. Should we? Maybe? But sometimes I feel like you need to do it back to back to get kind of like the... There you go. Well, looky here, Mr. Naruhodo. At the tip, a small piece of blade appears to be missing. Wait, part of it is missing. Could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. You remember this? There it is. It's a perfect fit. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Plenty of knives around our place. Oh my gosh. Don't say that. Sorry? Would you care to elaborate? Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to spot of carving, you see? Pipes and whatnot, fishing tackle, and you know, sort of thing. It's a passion we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too, and then there's my leather work. Sorry to say, we're always losing knives about the place, and we have dozens of these things. They sell them at the market sometimes, 24 of the price of 19. Needless to say, I snap them up. John prefers to use 2 knives at meal times too, instead of knife. Why? 2 knives? How? Here we go again with the scoldings. Why are they being so evasive? Are you married because they don't want to believe it? They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim. Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still. Go on with your testimony, witnesses. Sir? That bally thing in the victim's back was really one of ours? Ooh. I kind of want to press it first before I present. So you have no intention of admitting it was her knife unless we can produce proof. Even though there is no other credible possibility if Mr. Natsume is innocent. You forget, my Nipponese friend, that it has yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack. As if I could forget. Well, there was some way to know who had handled the knife. But I suppose wizardry like that is just a dream. Well, in a few years, perhaps you were thinking of fingerprinting, Mr. Naruhodo. What, you mean it's a dream? That sort of wizardry really exists? Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin, or so they say. But I can't see anything. There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice. Ooh! Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation. But for now, we shall have to find an alternative method of proving our assertions. That the knife found in the victim's back was originally in Mr. and Mrs. Gaideb's house. If only I could transplant this whole incident several years in the future. If only. Alright. What do you think? Well, I'm particularly confident. I'm not too much. By the way, if the tea is that hot, where and when? How did she heat it up? Is there a hidden mini stove inside her cheeks? Yeah, this port has been going on for hours. So I'm not really sure how it's still that hot. Tiny shred! Tiny shred! Oh, well, we'll see. I see. Maybe her hands is 100 degrees hot. Oh my gosh, it could be. She's just so strong that she emanates heat. We do it! Look at this shit! Mr. Gaideb! Could I ask you to take a good look at this, please? You can ask, but I can't see a bally thing. You can't. You used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course, but that was some time ago. When I even trying to enjoy large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell B from D and P from Q, to be honest. Oh, he does, dearie me. It's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word. He must very dizzy. Oh. Damn. Be very busy. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear of the first to be a tiny scrap is in fact crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Gaideb's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove! I wonder how he got there. You never see her pipe? I mean, wouldn't you need to put something on your pipe before you light them up? You never notice? What precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that that it is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing? Yes, it is. I am. What? When you put it together with the other piece of evidence already in the court, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. He's a fake! He's a fake pipe man! You appear to rather confident to that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well then, present the pertinent evidence to the court. Here it is. I gave it to you. Pop, pop, pop. Shabam. This is the knife that was found on the victim's back. If you look closely, you will see that there is a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. A common issue with the inferior blades sold at the unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in the victim's bones. And what of this particular knife? No doubt its tip have suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim. No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife blade is the very fragment of the metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Gardel's pipe. Oh, we hurt his heart! We hurt his heart! Oh no! He got hit. So did the metal got there before the fire or after? Because I can't make out the physics after. So what we know is this is recently broken with something solid, which is maybe the knife that yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but it happens. Good grief, Lord Van Zeeks! Ugh, I don't believe it! This face! The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match! Good golly gosh! Oh no! She's on the box, and you can see his undies because he. Mr. Garrett, get the new code. We can. Oh, Mr. Guys, we need to buy Mr. Gardeps a new code. No. This proves that domestic violence is not a victimless crime. Yeah. The crime is, you know, whoever you intentionally hurt and the one who gets unintentionally hurt. Who gets, you know, what do you call that? The splash damage. Collateral damage. Order! Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. Miracle! So Van Zeeks has figured it out, has he? Counsel! Explain this extraordinary coincidence at once! Yes, my lord. A crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Gardev's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. There you go. Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles. She did, yes. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Oh dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Gardep flung his knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Gardep's, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord! Yes, and that's just one the tip of the blade. Found its way inside Mr. Gaidev's pipe. Oh, the chances are 1,000,000 to 1! And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out the open window. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Mr. Gaidev's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back, on the street below. Oh dear gosh! No! Look at how fun that is! Look at the box! Wow, that's fast. A full body theory, I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points possibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to this bottling his arguments. Sorry? But after all, it's just a theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see... Hey! No! 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 Put it down! It's spoiled by the... it's spoiled by the insurmountable inconsistency. Oh my god. Wow! Lord Van Zieks, explain yourself. What inconsistency you claim to have identified? Under the consistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with the knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... Why? Why? No violence in my freaking court! Oh, it's gone. Holy crap. Joan, old thing. What are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic fact of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. The knife struck her and had fallen from above. God fucking damn it. Car counting 9. There's no possible way it could have been planted into the victim's back. No. We know how it happened. We know how it happens. Right? Remember this? Yep. That's how it happens. Order! Right. You see, that's exactly right. If the knife had fallen from above, would have struck on the top of her head. Well, I lost for word, look. I knew it. I never liked this chair in the first place. I don't know though, what really did happen? The crime scene grim investigator has already figured it out. Thank you, Elsie. Thank you. It would appear the defense has made rather spectacular blunder. No, it's not a blunder. If the theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history. That's a great line. Thank you, Van Zieks. I like this. Your theory is history. That's so good. What the fuck? That's so good. Oh, come on, Yunosuke. Have you not think this through? This is the only thing I kind of like nitpicky about a lot of Ace Attorney game. You're just like, come on, get it on with it. You know what's gonna happen next. You already know. Why do we have to go through all this back and forth and roundabout way to go? That's my nitpick. But now the way has been blocked completely, just one simple inconsistency. You know? Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will stand. Miss Usato. You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all, and your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then the way will present itself. The key to this in the court record, I'm sure. Yep. Since you have nothing to say, my nippong niece friend, well, your silence speaks volume. A tacit acceptance of that your theory is fatally flawed. Come on. This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper to the truth. It's a test. Yes! If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of the back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel! So much circling around, it drags on. One heck of a pericombobulation. Yeah. I get that, what Elsie said before. That's one thing. But that's the only thing that annoys me more. But I still like the game though. Don't get me wrong, I still had a lot of fun. That can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness! Utter madness! Surely this must be the last time. Well, we gotta discombobulate Van Zeeks! How do I discombobulate Van Zeeks? Just the last inconsistency. The final piece of the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence! The evidence is the fourth book! Shabam! I think it would be pretty boring if it went in a straight line. You know, you have to have a lot of climax and this climax. Go back and forth, go up and down. Discombobulate with contrafibularities might work. Oh gosh, maybe not. It's definitely more enjoyable with company, but I don't think I would like it as much alone. Ah, then we'll learn this together. We'll finish this game together. I wish you can. Ah, wait! I think someone, I don't know from who, some Hololive girls is starting to play the original trilogy of Phoenix Wright. I think it would be a nice watch if you guys wanna. If you guys haven't really played the game and don't really want to play the game, I think it's a good idea to watch that. Because I don't know, I played the trilogy, the original trilogy, like more than a dozen of times, so I don't know if I want to have to do that again. I mean, I bought it though, just cause. This is the fourth book found at the scene. It's the final piece of evidence. The defense will okay. The burnt book? Is that not Mr. Gaidev's book? Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene of the first place. I enjoy it about equally alone and in company. Yeah. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question. And the victim holding it in her hand. But as all we know, it was Mr. Police Constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so, as a part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the Now he found it that way. That's true, however. As a part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place the book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up on her own volition. And clearly that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By Jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what happened now. How dare he be? Wow, even Gaideb! We know that the book fell from the top floor in Mr. Gaideb's household into the pavement below, at precisely the moment the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment, the young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, the book fell right into front of her. The book I threw! Yes, Miss Gaideb, and what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you're walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down. Aww! And picked the book up. Yes, that's exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked the book. Oh heavens! And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been? Straight jab! That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Alright guys, I'm gonna buy a turtle shell. I'm gonna have a big turtle shell so whenever I, walk past windows, and if I bend down, my back will be all secured. I'm glad she went to pick it up instead. It could have landed on her head, yeah. That's a lot of armor! You know? Probably didn't really hit her spine that much. Oh, what a cute little bookworm. Isn't she adorable? Look at her. And in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book. So you'll be following Master Roshi's fashion? Yeah, I will. Master Roshi already knows. Or you could just get a backpack full of books. Okay, look. Okay, maybe Alfie has a proper way to say it. If she kept walking, wouldn't the knife missed her though? Well, if she... That's true though. That's true too. Actually, Alex, that's right. Okay, the lesson here, if there's a book that fell down, don't pick it up. Just move on. Just move on. Next object fell from the room above the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at the same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green was the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Well, I never. It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor in the dark fog. He didn't see the knife falling on her above. Oh. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. You better pay Miss Green a visit, Joan. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Gaideb. The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered perhaps it might have been something like that. Oh. There, old bee. Why is Mr. Gaideb so cute? Poor Mrs. Gaideb. No, I have no sympathy. Oh, but the cheeks though. course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen. Yeah, but you are so angry. You say, oh, if I'm angry, I have to throw until me anger is dissipated. No, just your choice. It's all my fault, wasn't it? Yes, it is. Now go to your timeout corner and think about it, okay? Okay? You think about it, alright? I'm just worried about this guy. I take full resp- Okay, good. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book. And I threw the knife as well. Okay, good! That's good. Admitting to your mistake is one way to do it. John dear, it's alright, I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry! She's so scrawny now, oh my god. Oh no, don't put him like that! How dare you ridicule Mr. Garideb! Is he gonna replace her maid cap with a dunce cap? Maybe. Oh, Van Zeeks, what's news of Mrs. Garideb? She's been taken into an infirmary. It would appear that today's event had left her in a especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concerns. Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could easily have been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. At least we got her to apologize to Garideb. Yeah. Maybe one day, maybe she'll understand that being angry and throwing things is not good. It can damage you, it can damage your loved one, it can damage even other people around, you know? She needs an anger issue, anger management therapy. Hope Mr. Garideb's spine didn't break off her little heavy lifting failure. I'm sad now. Remember the photo? We still have it here? No. Remember the photo that had to the picture that we saw? Like, Mr. Garideb's was like lifting her so cutely on the photo, and now he couldn't do it anymore. Oh. There's some good news, however, my lord. I've just had a word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. It's strange, we've been talking about the victim all this time, but we never once met her. How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yeah, that's good news. So, Mr. Soseki Natsume... Oh, there he is. Yes! On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture and have been repaid with unmeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. Yeah, thank you. We're lucky that Mr. Garideb was Fusilier and not a grenadier. Something more dangerous could have been. Let's not think about that one. No, it's Miss me who should be begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead. Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought that she had been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog. Like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him. Yeah, poor man. So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. Should have never dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of the trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry. Aww! Soseki! I have a John is sitting there now. One could indeed say that some sort of mischief spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by the spirit and led to false conclusions, but thanks to Lord Van Zieks and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has been now broken, and the spirit has exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Oh! Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord? The concluding trial, I must ask you one last time for your decision regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to court? As the foreman of this jury, I can assure that we have reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting in front of the old bean while she's out of action, you know. But I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. I say, I have a quarter of a story to tell with the grandchildren when I get home one time. It's this old... Hello? Why is it every time we're just trying to finish up a goddamn case, the internet just went batshit crazy? Can you like chill out? Give me like a few minutes? Thank you. Hello, Mr. Soseki Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty. You're back. I'm so angry. Alright, let's hope internet can stay until the very end. And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh yes, Lord Sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture, and you may never again be brought before me. Oh yes, sir, of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Thank you, consuls. Court is adjourned. Yay! 20th February, 3 p.m. Oh, look! Wait, you mean me? Of course! Is there another locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original locum student Mr. Haruhet's fire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with us using my actual name? Well, at last I'm free, I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Hearty, hearty happiness, hurrah! Irritating, inconsistent internet! Yes. I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard just to say that then? Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brink! Well, what happened to the poor woman was no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that! Lovely, loyal locum lawyer! Yes. I mean, as I said before, I just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners, I see towering bricks building, and from high up windows, I see them looking down on me laughing. Look at that little hunchback. Oh dear, I'm sure it was all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today you locum lawyer gave me a gloom the boot. My gloom the boot? Ah, okay. You stood firm behind the baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best barristers ever born!" Okay. Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. An anecdote? Is that what's to become of all my hard work? Oh, there you are, my dear fellows. Hey! Shooms! I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you. I see I am here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. Oh. The trial shall begin Mr. Sholmes? I'm just finished. What? No! Then my haze was in vain. Ah, it's you! Hello, Sholmes! Oh, have you met, sir? Oh, this is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounter had taken place in the gloom. Either of your bleak lodgings or that pleasant prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious fate in the light. Charming. This is all your fault, Sherlock Sholmes! You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of mind. My apologies, sir, but I assured you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned the poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Has she been taken to the hospital more urgently? I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We're but humans after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing, never mind. Priceless! Oh, I am so sorry. Really, but... that was quite priceless. Poor Soseki-san. Sholm is such a Gwemlish name, isn't it? Still, on the bright side, you have extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume? Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper. Ah, I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. And if you found not guilty, you're still doomed. We'll be alright, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, we'll protect you. Hiya! There it is. There it is. The Susato takedown. Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Miss Susato. Well then. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experience to your friends in Japan? Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh! It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshop, and I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here, and the city has shaped. And I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. It's very touching, Mr. Natsume. Or in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Whipper's curse. That's not it at all! The more I learn about literature, the more this strange feeling claws in my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. I see. A work of literature by Soseki-san. Would be an interesting read. Miss Usato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. What? What about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustache compatriot? Why would we? We're just arrived! A week has not yet passed since we arrived here in London. And now does it feel as though we have finally found our feet? And you're accommodated in the hotel at present, are you not? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you could take my lodge. Oh, the windowless room? But what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up with the floor. Yeah, true. Great. And of course, I'll be happy to leave behind an accursed evil spirits. Oh my evil spirits. Yes. It tries to suffocate you when you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call. You mean the cat? Well, we'll think about it if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Really? Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Though it's up to the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this morning, and the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of. Oh, this is simply wonderful! What an honor to be invited to taking lodgings in the great detective's office attic! I'm too overcome for words. So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you, and yes. Wonderful. I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Welcome. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you two. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But welcome! We'll meet again one day. Is that a red flag? Is it gonna die? Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I've little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. Gonna be attic dwellers? Living the high life? Yes. And now, with Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home. 221B Baker Street. Oh! Here it is! Why do I have so many? What? Is it onions? So this is to be our new office, yes. Our office? I rather like the sound of that. Me too! It's simply wonderful, isn't it? I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step. But I like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So my dear fellows, you like the place? Ah! Hey, don't shook me like this! What is this? Oh yeah! Put your suit back on. No. Where's your head? This is bad. This is bad for my heart. Give me this. Oh no, he's high. Oh no, I'm brushing. Oh no. Windows factory? It should be. It should be. It's a nice little room, Mr. Shelves. I simply adore it. Good, I'm pleased to hear. Iris and I delighted to welcome you. I hope everyone is hungry. It's nearly dinner time. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume never arrived. Iris, I must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid. You'll see colas and hatless Sholmes more since you— oh shit. Oh shit. So Mr. Naru, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? I am weak with this outfit. I'm weak! It's very exciting actually. I can't help wondering what adventures awaits us. Those were precisely my sentiment when I first established my office in this premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry. London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights cast the darkest of shadows. Yeah, I see that. Shadows, what do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So once again, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London. I like your little hair there. It's pretty cute. Of course, at the time, I had no idea the significance of those words. Mr. Schultz casually spoke. But it was long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. Damn. Well, we don't know what happened to— oh, is that— oh, okay, okay. So this one is the last one of the first game. Okay, all right. Then we'll have to continue. And the next time we play. Yay! Clappy claps! Okay, that was... okay. That was like a filler. Sorta like a filler. Kinda. But yeah, okay. Sad that there's no cutscene. But we'll have to see tomorrow, next time, I guess. Oh. Okay. I wanted to play yesterday. Yesterday I was actually planning to play Vampire Survivor, but I just got my booster shot the day before it, so I was actually very feverish. Feeling a lot better now though, so I'm okay. Just my arm. My arm's really still hurting. I don't know why, but I'm good. Good case. Good case. Good case. Good case. All right. Thank you so much for coming. For coming with me. Joining me in this journey. At the end of this marital case, onward to the final case of the first game of the duology. Yes. Thank you guys. Hope you're feeling better soon. I'm good. No more fevers though. Only my arm very hurty. It'll fade over time. Thank you for the stream. Thank you guys for the company always. Thank you. What's up, Coca? Dada! Bye! Coca!